Hello guys, welcome back to the part 2 of this Forex trading course. The reason why part 1 was cut short is we didn't want to make the video, me and the team didn't want to make the video too long. So I'd like to thank everyone who was present for the part 1, and if you're new and you haven't got the part 1, go straight down to the description, or there will be a link right somewhere there which will help you go and watch that video guys. It's really amazing. So today, without wasting much time, let's look at the forex market hours. We covered much of the introduction in the part 1 of this video. Again, I remind you, if you haven't watched the beginning of this video, go and watch it guys. Go watch it. You'll miss out a lot if you don't. So today, let's start by looking at the forex market hours. The forex market hours. So we're all aware that the forex market is open 24 hours a day. That's a full day, but it's only open 5 times a week. A week is made out of 7 days, meaning it's only opened on 5 weekdays. And with that said, it's only open when banks in the major economies are open. What major economies am I talking about? We looked at these countries. We looked at the US, the Eurozones, the Great Britain as a country, major economies. Then in the Asian side, we have Sydney and Tokyo. So when banks in these zones are open, the forex market is open. So we're going to correlate these and know when to trade, what to trade, which session. So let's look at this. The forex market hours are divided into sessions. There are 4 sessions, guys. First, we have the New York session, the London session, Tokyo session, and the Sydney session. So the most traded session is the London session, guys. Reason being, it has the highest liquidity, meaning liquidity means movement. They call it movement. So most people trade the London session because they don't want their trades to stall. They want to open a position and move it faster, and the decision is made faster. But some pairs don't move in the London session. They mostly move in the Asian session, and we call these two the Asian session. That's because they're found in Asia. So most people like trading the London session. We shall have a look at that briefly. So someone is supposed to correlate all these sessions with different pairs to know when to trade. So why would I trade the London session? If I'm trading GBP USD, why would I trade it in the Sydney session? I'll look for the London session where these currencies are mostly exchanged. That is in London, the London session. I would look for which currencies is mostly exchanged in this session, and it's the session I'll trade in that specific currency pair. Let's move on to the next slide. So we have a beautiful chart here showing us why the forex market is open 24 hours a day. That's a full day. So the first session to open is always the Sydney session. It's reason being Sydney is the first. It's the first among all these to enter a new day. Sydney is the first. So Sydney enters. Sydney markets open at 10 p.m. as we are going to use the GMT as the general clock, and we shall adjust according to the different locations where we are. So as I'm saying, Sydney is the first session to open its markets on a given trading day. Let me say we're from the weekend. Sydney enters first, guys. So as Sydney is running, as the Sydney session is running, the Tokyo session opens 2 hours after the Sydney session. So there is an overlap, but the Sydney session closes 2 hours before the Tokyo session closes. So meaning, guys in Tokyo wake up when the Sydney session is already in movement 2 hours plus. The London session, the most traded session, guys, opens at 7 a.m. GMT. It opens before 1 hour before the Tokyo session closes, meaning there is an overlap. We call this an overlap. There is an overlap of 1 hour. So the Tokyo session closes at 8 a.m. GMT, and the London session starts at 7 a.m. GMT. So this session runs through until 16 GMT. But there is an overlap when the New York session opens at noon GMT. These hours change during the winter, guys. During the winter, the sessions tend to change by an hour or so. So the New York session overlaps with the London session for about 4 hours, guys. And the New York session is the last to close. It closes on a Friday, the last. I hope we understand that. So let's move on to the next slide. So let's look at which guys take part in the Forex market. We have looked at what is Forex, when do we trade, why Forex. Let's look at which individuals are involved in this process. Let's start with the top guys. We have the top guys. So top guys in the Forex market, the ones who drive this Forex market are the biggest banks in the world, like I said in the previous slide. When the banks are open, the Forex market is open. So big banks like JP Morgan, Bank of America, there are so many, transact with each other through an interbank system market. An interbank market. They do this by transacting through ABS, that's electronic banking services, or Thomson routers. These provide an order book where they can transact directly with each other. And this is only for huge banks. You can't find someone or an individual transacting with them. You can't, guys. This is because they transact in millions and billions of dollars, guys. Next slide. So as we can see in this beautiful chart, it's showing us the top guys. So here we had Bank of America, Bank of England, JP Morgan. There are many. So commercial banks like these other banks coming around second. They transact volumes but not so much as these guys. They push the market but not so as these guys. So next we have companies like Total, companies, they fall under here. Then we have brokers, guys. We shall go deep into brokers, guys. Then we have retail traders like B and Q, guys. Next slide. Next slide. So let's have a look at some of the common Forex stamps before we go in deep, guys. Deep. Guys, let's start with spot price. What is spot price? Spot price is the current price of a currency pair. Let me say the price of GBP USD is 1.1200. That's spot price. Next is an order book. An order book is a listing of all buys and sell orders opened. Me and you may not have the proper access to an order book, but the big banks do. The big banks, remember the big banks we talked about? They can know which people are buying or which people have opened orders to sell the market. We shall go deep into that. Next is ask price. So, what's ask price? Ask price is price you can buy at currently. Let me show you guys an example. So, if I want to buy this market, if price is coming, let's give you an example. I want to buy this market here. We will see two lines, which we shall talk about briefly. The two lines, the first line we see here where we're buying from is called the ask price. Then the bid price is if we want to sell. It's always the upper one, the bid price. Bid price. Then the difference between these two guys, this gap, it's always tiny, but some brokers shall go deep into that. The distance between the two, if you get ask price minus the bid price, you get the spread. So then let's look at a pip. A pip is the distance moved by price from one point to another. If price moves from point A to point B, the distance in between is called a pip. Then let me give you guys an example. If we find a currency pair and it's GBP USD, and it has no yen in that currency pair, this is how it is. 0, 0, 0, 0. Currently, it's 0 pips. But if I remove this and put a 1, meaning that's 1 pip. If I put 50, meaning price has moved 50 pips. But for yen pairs like GBP JPY, AUD JPY, it's this. 0.00. That's 0 pips. But if I put a 1 here, that's 1 pip. If I put a 50, those are 50 pips. So let's look at pipettes. I hope we understood that. A pipette is the fifth decimal place. Let's have an example. If the pair has no JPY in it, it is 0.00000. Last, the fifth digit is called a pipette. Meaning if I put 1 here, that's 1 pipette. And if I add 9 to that, it makes a pip. Yes. So these are 2 pipettes, 3 pipettes, 5 pipettes. So if it reaches 9, that it turns into a pip, meaning it adds a 1 here. So about that, meaning that's 1 pip and 9 pipettes. Guys. So this actually turns into 2 pip 1. This turns to 0. So it's normally not written in 5 decimal places. No, most times it's written as a superscript, and you find it up. Let me say this for normally written up here pipettes. So let's look at pipettes of JPYs. Given this example, prices move 0 pips. If I put a 1 here, that's 1 pip. Then 5, that's 1 pip. But if I come and add a 1 on the side, this 1 is the pipette. This 1 is the pipette. If it's a 8, it's a pipette. 9 pipettes. So if it moves on forward, this changes to 1. Using it. So let's move on. Let us move. So next slide. So let's look at what we call lot sizing. Let's look at what we call lot sizing. So a lot is a standard measure of units of Forex. So meaning one standard lot, guys, write standard lots as, give you guys an example. 1 is a standard lot, 2 is a standard lot, 3, then we continue. Whether it's 10, 20, those are standard lots. And one standard lot contains 1,000, 100,000 units of the base currency. What do I mean? If the currency pair is GBP stroke USD, remember this is the base, the currency which comes first. It's the base, meaning one standard lot 1 contains 100,000 units of the pound. That's how it is, guys. So a mini lot is 0.10. That's an example. 11, 20, it has to be 0 point something up to 0.99. That's a mini lot. Then a micro lot is 0.01 to 0.09. If we add one more, that's 0.10, that's a mini lot. Then a nano lot is 0.0001. That's a nano lot. Let's move to the next slide. Guys. So let's look at brokers. As promised, I promised to look at brokers. Let's look at brokers, guys. So let me give you guys an example. Those days, as I said, me and you wouldn't trade because trading was only for the big banks. But how comes we're able to trade nowadays? Brokers came in. Now brokers are people who provide leverage, but shall look at leverage in the next slides to come. So these people are a company or any entity that allows you to place an order or place a trade. So someone asks me what's an order. An order is simply an instruction to either buy or sell the currency pair. So what happens when these brokers come in? These brokers act as middlemen between the banks and us by providing you leverage to trade again. So how do you choose brokers? Someone will say, I want a broker who is good to me. Transparency, number 1. Interests should be aligned with the customers. The brokerage firm should have good leverage, should have low fees. Now, low fees, remember the part I told you about spreads? That's the low fees. low withdrawal fees, low charges. I mean, a good broker should have a good platform that enables you to trade. Then it should have support, guys. What I mean by support is customer care. Imagine you want to withdraw and your withdraw didn't go through. Who will you contact? The broker must have a good service, customer service. So, what are the types of brokers, guys? We have A-book brokers and B-book brokers. A-book brokers are the ECA, guys. ECA. They place your trade the way it is. I want to go deep, but I'll make a video about types of brokers. Then B are known to place your orders on a demo, guys. Brokers are very deadly people, guys. Next slide. Let's look at types of orders, guys. Someone asked what's an order. We said it's an instruction to either buy or sell an instrument. So let's look at the types of orders. We have market order. Market order is either it's an immediate placement, either a buy order or a sell order. Those are the two types of market orders. They're immediate execution. Immediately you execute, the order is placed. What other types of orders we have? We have a limit entry order. Limit entry order grouped in two parts. We have a buy limit. We have a sell limit. So, what is a buy limit? This is an example. A buy limit is an order placed below price and then says if price reaches here, it will definitely change direction and go up. So this is the illustration. Imagine price market is dropping and I put there a buy limit here. In actual I say if the market comes and tests this part, my trade will be executed and I want the market to go back to the upside. So if the market comes and triggers my entry, I expect it to go back to that side. So let's look at the sell limits. The sell limit is the image of a buy limit. For example, if the market is moving upwards and I place my sell limit in that I want price to shoot to these levels here and reverse back down. So that's how a sell limit is. So what other order do we have? We have a stop loss order. Someone will say, why is the stop loss an order? It's actually placed. It's placed when a stop loss is an order placed to initiate an acceptance in the losses made in a specific trade. For example, if I was planning to sell the market, I would place my stop loss here. If my entry is above is right here, and I'll be like, should the market go against me and there will be a stop loss at a level where I'll accept that I'm on the wrong side. That's a stop loss order. So what is a trailing stop loss? The trailing stop loss is one which follows. It can be said if I'm in the right side of the trade, maybe like I want my stop loss to move. Every time the market moves, it moves to the stop loss. That's a trailing stop loss. So another type of order is the good till cancelled order. These orders can run for 24 hours or more than. It can even run for a month. For example, if I plan to buy this market and I place something like this. Sorry guys, we skipped the stop entry. But let's look at the stop entry first because how to use it. The stop entry is we have two types. We have a buy stop and a sell stop. So a buy stop is if the market is moving gradually up and I set my buy stop. In my analysis, I expect the market to trigger my entry but to continue to the right side. That's what a buy stop is. So the sell stop is the inverse. I expect price if price is moving downwards and I set my sell stop. I expect price to break it, trigger my entry, but continue selling. It's the difference. So, would till cancelled type of order is, for example, if let's use the buy stop. If I set my buy stop here, price is moving. Expect price to come and trigger it, but price starts to range around there until it triggers this GTC. It will remain here even for a month. Same as applies to the sell stop. So let's look at another type of order. Another type of order is a good for the day. This one lasts for 24 hours. Use the example I used, I'm from showing you guys. If the trade isn't triggered in 24 hours, it cancels itself. Next order. Now these other orders are not so used that much unless you're using MT4. So another type of order is one cancels the other. Let's look at this. If I enter market order and my stop loss is hit, and this I want to buy the market, but the market starts to reverse against me. If it hits my stop loss, this buy order will be cancelled. Vice versa to the sell stop. Another type of order which was left out was the one triggers the other, OTO. This one indicates that if my entry position is here, but prices and I've set a buy stop, this buy stop here. If price comes and triggers this buy stop, automatically I will have stop loss down here and the take profit here, right before I even enter the trade. Okay, so that's all about orders, types of orders. Let's move on to the next slide. So leverage, guys, leverage, the double its word, and this will be our last topic for the day. But more videos are to come, guys. More videos are to come, and after this video, shall be looking at. I'll make a video on the different charting software we have, and I will go deep into trading. You guys, stay tuned. Let's look at leverage. Leverage is the ratio of the amount of capital used in the transaction to the required security deposit, hence margin. So, with leverage, it is possible to control large sums of the dollar. I repeat that it is the ability to control large dollar amounts of a security with a relatively small capital. Okay. For example, if I have $100 only, but I wanted to invest in something which is $1,000, the broker will come in and give me 900 plus this 100. I'll be having 1,000. But the rule is, if I'm in losses of maybe say 930 and I let it reach 910, the broker will take out their money because they don't want to lose it, meaning I'll remain with zero. So that's how it is in Forex, guys. That's how it is in Forex. So takes us back to the previous slides we have, where I told you we weren't able to trade those days until trader brokers came in. These brokers actually provide something called CFDs. It stands for CFDs. It stands for contract for differences. It actually means if you say the market will buy, the broker will be like, if you win, I'll give you money. But if you lose, you pay me from your account size. That's how we are able to trade. So these brokers come, they give you leverage to buy huge positions. So let's talk about margin. When you open a new trading account to the Forex broker, you must deposit a minimum amount. The minimum varies with different brokers. So each time you execute a new trade in this account, a certain percentage of the account balance in that account will be set aside as the initial margin, which is a requirement for a new trade based upon the underlying currency. Meaning, if there is no margin there won't be any new trades for you. You get that? So that's margin, guys. Thank you for being here till the end. For those who are still with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's go.